Thank you for tuning in. I am Dr. Anthony Gustin.
And I'm Chris Irvin.
And we are here to talk to you about how to travel successfully while on a ketogenic diet.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to have to do some traveling on keto, but it's definitely not an excuse to slip up or go off the wagon. So we're going to talk about that today.
It can be challenging at first, and so kind of dividing this in like short-term travel, long-term travel. So with short-term travel, what it gets people is, weekend trips, stuff like that, is not necessarily where they're staying or things like that, because they're going to be eating out anyways for all their meals, but it's the travel days in general and not being prepared for those. And so traveling on the go and eating healthy can be a little challenging if you're not prepared. So what we like to do is stock up on snacks. It's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, stocking up on snacks is huge. And even if you're going somewhere where maybe you are going to be enjoying some of the local cuisine that isn't necessarily keto friendly, for instance, like you're going to like Chicago and you want to have some like deep dish pizza, like a good thing you can do to kind of mitigate the damage is stocking up on your snacks and other things to make sure the rest of your day is on point.
Yeah, so what snacks do we use? What do we recommend? It's a good question. So we have some right here, but the number one thing that we like to do is basically make sure that we have protein source first. And so how we get that, a couple different ways, but most delicious bar on earth, the keto bar is one of them.
Yes.
Nuts, we have nuts here. These are almonds. Beef sticks. So these are things that don't contain any liquid. It's tough to travel with fat because they'll jack you at the airport and they'll get the fat from you. Even if it's like under, I've had a lot of times it's stolen from me. Even nut butters, coconut butter, stuff like that, it gets taken away.
Yeah.
So unfortunate. We have also the single packs a lot of times. So we travel with like a coconut butter, maybe a single packet, or a nut butter, single packet, stuff like that. Still though, I've gotten those taken from me, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And so if you're gonna have food choices, like that makes it way easier to go through maybe a long travel day and to skip some of these things of like airports, long rides in the car, long rides in the plane. Like airports and plane food, like worse than prison food.
There's no options.
Yeah, there's zero options. And so this is a point where, like, especially in the airplane, if you're gonna have longer than a 2, 3, 4, 5 hour flight and you're hungry, like prepare for it. I think is the easiest way to do that. The second easiest thing to do is to be able to take a product that extends maybe a fast in a way where like it's not just a water fast. And so either MCT oil powder, or ketones. And so these things, so exogenous ketones, are great to have to decrease appetite and to get you through a long period of time. So I will take this stuff and mix it in the coffee that they serve on an airplane, for example, or in airport. And that way I'll know I can extend my fast by X amount of hours.
Yeah, and actually, there is some evidence showing that fasting may be even beneficial for like limiting jet lag.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've been doing a lot more lately is if I'm gonna be traveling, trying to fast through the travel and then eating when I get there. So taking like the ketones or even like the keto coffee is a great thing to help extend that.
Yeah, so any travel day now that I have that's longer like in travel time than 3 to 4 hours, I will fast the entire day. I've just noticed that, especially if I'm changing time zones, game changer. If I'm going international, especially, and going 5, 6, 7, 8 time zones, it's pretty much like a several day recovery speed up. It's crazy. And so what I'll do is that morning I wake up, maybe we'll have some ketones, maybe not, and then just fast through the entire day. Even like when I get to the place that I'm going to, check in the hotel, do whatever. I'll get there and I'm still fasted until I wake up the next day. And so I just, the whole day, skip food.
Yeah, and also fasting can do things like modulate your immune system too, which tends to get crushed when you're traveling, especially if you're on an airplane for a long time. That's something that commonly happens. So fasting is a great strategy for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little reasons why this is the case. I mean, the oxygen level on planes it's actually really terrible. So when you try to breathe and just do cellular respiration, it's not really that easy. So you add food into the mix, your body has to process all that, and you just don't have enough to go around. And so just skipping the food altogether is a really great way to just have your body be as primed as humanly possible.
Yeah.
I know not everybody likes to do that. It's been taking us probably a few years to get really comfortable with fasting. And so if you're not going for fasting, then I'd say on travel days, pack the snacks and make sure to make the good choices.
Yeah, and with the snacks too, another huge advantage is that a lot of these snacks at airports and stuff, there's not many options like we said before, but also they're way more expensive too. So if you're trying to like do keto on a budget and stuff, you're gonna save a lot more money bringing a lot of these snacks with you.
Yeah, and so some airports do have good beef jerkies. They do have some high quality nuts, stuff like that you can grab, but typically, they're ridiculously expensive. Or they're just not that great quality.
Yeah.
So if you're in a pinch, grab those snacks. But long-term travel, if I'm going to stay anywhere longer than 2, 3, 4 days, a week, 2, 3 weeks, then I will look. And this is a tip that I learned recently, sort of employ it, but get an Airbnb that has a kitchen. And so, I mean, this is the biggest thing. Like when you have to eat out every meal for a week, like you're bound to make some bad choices. That's just the hard truth of it. Like you're not gonna make every choice. That's great. And so I'll get an Airbnb. If worst case scenario I can't find one or I'm staying at a hotel, I'll try to make sure that the hotel has at least a fridge. And then the first thing I'll do when I land or the first day when I have some time is I go find like the nearest Whole Foods or a store like that, co-op, something like that, and go there and just load up on some simple snacks. So same type of stuff, shelf-stable things like avocados, nuts, some snacks like that. Again, some meat stuff, some maybe pre-cooked meat that I can throw in the fridge and snack on when I get hungry, same type of stuff.
So yeah, with keto in general, you know, you can definitely dine out on keto, but the problem is that there's a lot, like he said, a lot more poor choices to be made, and usually it's a lot lower quality food. So if you can, you know, do your own shopping, if you have a kitchen that you can at least prepare at least one meal a day, you know, starting your day off with a breakfast cooked at home, that can make a huge difference for limiting the damage. So, you know, you're not having 3 meals a day out on the road. So.
Right. And we already have another video that you guys can tune into of how to eat when you're going out to restaurants on a ketogenic diet. So if you're interested in how to do that, that's a huge thing for traveling. So tune into that video. But otherwise, I think that the biggest things are fasting and travel days, if you can do that, the days you're actually flying, driving, doing these things. Or 2 is just selecting that your place that you're actually staying at is primed so that you can make healthy food choices. I think that's 2 of the biggest things.
Yeah, definitely. And if you are in a situation where you're doing a lot of driving, you know, if it's a road trip that you're taking, preparing the snacks again in that situation is going to be a lot better. But if you do have to stop, convenience stores can also be a place where you can get some of these snacks. Again, probably not going to be as good as packing them yourselves, but that's also another way that you can do things.
Yeah, preparation is key, I think, and especially when you start doing it, it might seem insurmountable, but a couple times you get your roll and you know, okay, when I travel, this is what I'm going to do, and like we've had to go through that. It's normal to feel that way. So if you guys have any top tips on how you stay keto when you travel, or any other questions that you have, just pop them in the comments below. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I am Dr. Anthony Gustin.
And I am the Ketologist.
But thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.